Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm George from Ireland. So this video is about Trump urging people to inject themselves with disinfectant. Wow. I mean, I wouldn't believe it if I hadn't seen the footage with my own eyes, heard it with my own ears, him saying that. I was bowled over. This man, he never ceases to surprise me, always raising the bar for stupidity or malevolent stupidity. How much worse can he get? He said that on the 24th of April, not April Fool's Day. Okay? I was flabbergasted he could think that's a good idea. Anybody knows that disinfectant is not supposed to go inside the human body. You know, you read a bottle of that stuff will say, avoid contact, do not ingest, avoid contact with eyes, and you don't want it on the surface of your skin either. What things for cleaning like the inside of a lavatory or the floor or something like that? Wow. Wow, like bleach. But and by the way, Donald, please go ahead. I mean, keep yourself safe from coronavirus. Please down a whole bottle of a disinfectant, or indeed get it in a syringe, inject it under the skin. He says it's particularly good to get in the lungs of all places. Now, I'm not a physician, neither is he, but I do know that injecting disinfectant is a really bad idea. And putting it in your body in any way, isn't that usually fatal, unless it's a minuscule amount? And it's apparently particularly agonizing death. Wow, I was stunned. Belligerent stupidity on this scale, I think, has never been seen before in an American president. But, well, I will hand it to him. It would have a certain medical effect. I mean, hey, ingesting disinfectant could be great, or injecting it, because it can prevent pregnancy, prevent grey hair, prevent aging, because you'll be dead. So how about that? Wow, a marvelous medicine. This is toxic imbecility. So Donald Trump, it proved yet again he doesn't give a shit about the American people. Follow his advice and you'll die. He never does his homework. He had some sort of briefing with his medical experts, went out there and started spouting this drivel. So there he is, disinforming the American public, saying exactly the wrong thing. It's as though he wants to do as much harm as possible in as few words as possible. He could scarcely have done a better job. I mean, it's not much difference from urging everybody to shoot themselves in the head. Well, that'll prevent you getting coronavirus, because you'll be dead from the bullet first. Wow. Because the presidency carries prestige. People, some now, well, still, many of them foolishly assume the president must be reasonably intelligent, must be benevolent, well-informed, and therefore you should follow his advice. Well, it's not sage advice. This is pernicious. It's criminal insanity. And why isn't the rest of the Republican Party absolutely rounding on him and saying, no, this is outrageous. This is utterly idiotic. And if people follow your advice, they're going to kill themselves. Anyway, coronavirus is no laughing matter. But the very next day, when it became apparent just how dangerously stupid this was, Trump said it was a gag. That press conference was 21 minutes. At no point did he say that by the way, that was a joke about injecting yourself with disinfectant. Yeah, he wasn't smirking. Yeah, so people would take that seriously. You don't joke when you're giving people advice about what to do for healthcare when this is a pandemic which has killed 50,000 people in the United States already, killed a few 100,000 people worldwide. Infected several million people. This is not something a president should be joking about. He's not a stand-up comedian. I've never heard Donald Trump tell a joke. So when he can't get himself out of things, he said it was a joke or the words came out wrong. A bit like say, oh, I don't think that Russia hacked the election. Oh, sorry, I meant to say I do think. Get it right. So he had some sort of briefing, and as usual, Trump is totally reckless, has a total disregard for the truth, never does his homework because he's so lackadaisical, which is why he did so appallingly at school. He's made strenuous efforts to prevent everyone getting his academic transcript, and then comes out with this absolute toxic twaddle. Like, he didn't prepare for his going to meet the Queen at that state visit, being in the wrong place, breach of protocol. Okay, that's trifling with regard to something which is killing people on a large basis. 3,000 Americans a day dying from it could well be growing. So how did he try and cover up his colossal error, claiming it was a gag? And when he was saying, oh, that was a joke, you notice his blink rate. He was blinking like mad. which is a tell of lying, even in his case. So yet more flagrant falsehoods from him, a bit like in 2016 when he urged whoever was hacking Hillary Clinton's emails to continue doing so, obviously known as his allies, the Russian state, and later on Ann Coulter covered up, say, oh, Democrats pretend not to tell jokes, to pretend not to realize that was a joke. You know, Trump, I don't think he does joke. Nobody was laughing about that. He wasn't smirking. He's actually never subsequently said it was a joke. So this is part of Trump's war on truth, this contempt for evidence, reason, knowledge, disdain for science, hostility to experts if they're not malleable. So he simply wants to manipulate them, to exploit them for his own re-election. No apology from him. He's only once give a completely insincere apology, excuse me, for his misogynistic comments towards God, that Fox News journalist. She's gone now. I forget her name. Who asked him some Megyn Kelly, who asked him some worthwhile questions. A very nasty question is a decent question about a topical matter. Put him on the spot, expose his gross incompetence. And the thing you always got to ask yourself is, imagine if Obama had done it. Imagine if Obama, with disregard of all medical evidence, had said, do something extremely dangerous. I encourage you to do that. Obviously, the Republican Party would be going apeshit. Rightly, the Democrats would be going apeshit too. But instead, the Republican Party barely dare to criticize him. Barely dare to criticize him. Forgive me, I'll get it right eventually. But after Trump's deadly stupid remarks, the Surgeon General and all sorts of companies saying, no, please do not do this. The disinfectant is not meant for internal use at all. That would be extremely perilous to your health. So he's jeopardized many, many lives but by saying this. We all know it's toxic. So careless talk costs lives, they said at the Second World War. Donald Trump said this is a war. Whose side is he on? On coronavirus's side, seems to me. Well, if the coronavirus doesn't kill you, you'll be killed by taking his advice. A bit like that medicine he was pushing a few days ago. I forget the name of it. Is it hydroxychloroquine? Something like that. See, I've got no scientific background. But, you know, it's not been licensed. So just because you, on the basis of I don't know what, think it's a good idea, him going out, encourage people to take it? No, this is not a political decision. It's based on objective data, years of double-blind trials before they reach a very careful decision whether to license it or not, weighing up the pros and cons, not just him on a whim deciding it's a good idea when he knows bugger all about it. I mean, I don't know anything about it either. I don't even know the name of it properly, but so I wouldn't express an opinion. But I do know you have to be very careful about these things. That's why experts have got to make the decision after having carried out the experiments, and I've been one of those guinea pigs, and deciding on the basis of the evidence. Is it effective? Does it have minimal side effects and all the rest of it? If there are any risks, are they acceptably low? Not just him, because he feels like it, to try to divert attention from his manifest failures to deal with this coronavirus thing, making it up on the spot. Wow, he's always extemporizing. A flying by the seat of the pants attitude to dealing with coronavirus, just a cavalier approach to everything, never doing any preparatory work. And so Trump continues to completely mismanage this situation. The Trump maladministration won't call governors back unless they're publicly, effusively laudatory about him. He wants them to heap praise on him in a verifiable manner, such that he then can use it in his election campaign. He's going to disperse aid on the basis of how much they publicly sucked up to him. Another thing that emerged is that Trump owes a huge amount of money to the Bank of China. Could that be why he's so publicly, what would the word be, deferential to the Chinese, praising them to the moon about their coronavirus response in the early months, saying they did such a good job of informing him. Now he's changed his tune and said, oh, well, they're not, trying to divert blame to them. But you can see how they'd have a hold over him. They got it by the short and curlies. You know, you've got to pay us back that money. So give us something, or maybe we'll write off the debt and all the rest of it. That's why he was kowtowing to Cathay. But he's obviously now a bit more worried about the short term, about trying to win this re-election. The economy tanking. Now, he didn't cause coronavirus. He could have done so much more to prevent it. Hey, a lot of governments deserve criticism on this, but I'm afraid to say the US government has been particularly inept. 52,000 deaths and counting. getting into the red state is going to rise and rise, talking about reopening the economy, and just no consistent policy at all. He's got to make sure that they act in concert with each other. If some states are going to lift the lockdown, they'd have to be more or less cut off from the others for a while, and on and on. So just sort of really no strategy. Just reopen it because he feels like it. My goodness. All right, that's enough from me. Yeah, I had this rumor that Kim Jong-un, whom he fell in love with, the cruelest tyrant on earth, and Trump loves him, is nauseating. And the Republican Party doesn't treat him to a tirade of abuse for sucking up to such a vicious oppressor. The rumor is that Kim Jong-un has died. I don't know if that's true, but there could be some good news. So joy to the world if it's true. Not that I think there's probably going to be much improvement in store for North Korea. All right, that's me signing off. Toodaloo.